And I'm going to talk about this little interesting scenario that happened right before starting recording. So basically, I was here and I'm sitting here and I'm planning what to do this episode, stuff like that. And then a little visitor comes by the window. We need to make a giant automatic wheat farm. We need to make this wheat farm inside the basement because we are trying to make a secret base. And this kind of does not look very secret outside like this. So let's go ahead and head inside because we need to make a giant wheat farm because we are trying to make a giant sheep farm. We have been doing that for the past little while because we are trying to get to space. And on the way in here, you will see this is our rocket room over here. And we need our rocket room. The most important thing in a rocket room in order to get to space is to color the walls. Obviously, that's like not the most important thing, but it's the most important thing in this case. So we need to go ahead and color the walls. I'm thinking red wool, but in any case, we need to make a lot of sheep to get that much wool. And we need to breed those sheep, which means we need a lot of wheat. We now have a giant, well, not really a giant sheep farm. We have the space for a giant sheep farm, but we do not yet have the wheat to breed the sheep. So we are going to be doing that today. And also a little interlude. So first of all, we got the wheat farm will probably go here. We're going to make a giant wheat farm, try to automate it. We're going to run into 3 problems. And also something happened just before starting the recording that I'll show you later as well. So we're going to run into 3 problems. We need to build this wheat farm, and we're going to run into the problems of, specifically, we need to set up downstairs, which isn't really a problem, but it is something that we need to do. It may, I don't know, we tend to run into complications with everything we do, so we shall possibly run into complications with this as well. And we have to tear down the wheat farm outside, which I don't expect any complications with that, but you never know. And then we also need to program this wheat farm. Now, we have a couple of problems. We probably won't get to the programming today, maybe next episode, but we have a couple of problems in that the program that I was originally thinking to use is a one I made a while ago, and it has some problems. Specifically, it does not work when you reload the world, which means that it will not work as a program for us, so we kind of need to redesign the whole thing. But I came up with a very, I think, interesting design that you guys might like, stuff like that, and yeah, but in any case, we're also going to be talking about a little visitor that I had at my window. It was mentioned on the Discord server earlier last week, and he came back again today, so we'll talk about that later as well. So, in order to set up this automatic wheat farm, we have 3 things to do. We have to, first of all, tear down outside, and then we have to build up downstairs, and then we also have to program it. So, we're going to start tearing down, and I'm going to talk about this little interesting scenario that happened right before starting recording. So, basically, I was here, and it is getting late at night over here, and so that's like, okay, it's like about 9, well, it's 9:20 now. It was about 9 o'clock at the time, PM, and I'm sitting here, and it's all dark outside, and I'm planning what to do this episode, stuff like that. And then a little visitor comes by the window, and I don't know, I took a video of it, and it was a raccoon. He came by the window. He was trying to get in the house for some reason. Not entirely sure why he was planning to do that. But, yeah, so for those of you guys who are in the Discord server, which, by the way, if you're not in the Discord server, you should join the Discord server. There's a link in the description. But for those of you guys who were in the Discord server, you would be probably aware of a couple of weeks ago, and I think let's just leave this to dry and... Oh, you know what? Let's actually break this and then replace the farmland with regular dirt so that it sort of covers up the prior wheat farm and becomes like a normal farm again. But basically, yeah, what happened was a couple of weeks ago, there was a visitor outside the window. There was a raccoon. For some reason, he liked I guess he liked something, the light maybe that was coming out of the room or something, and so he's like, oh, I want to check that out. So he climbs up to the window, and he's trying to get in, and he's like pawing at the window and trying to do things, and like he is tearing holes in the screen and things like that. And it's like there's now actually, I don't know if you can see it in the video clip that it's going to be in a moment, but there is actually a fairly giant hole in the screen. When you think from the perspective of a mosquito, like if a mosquito were trying to come in, this is a really giant hole that has been made in the screen, thanks to Mr. Raccoon. Thank you very much, sir. I don't appreciate that much. But in any case, we have pumpkins growing underneath the tree. But in any case, that's beside the point. Let's go ahead and head downstairs. I think we have covered up our tracks very nicely from the wheat farm outside. That is going to grow over with grass. So that is step 1 done. Step 1 was to cover over that wheat farm. Step 2 is to build the wheat farm and plot out the land in the bottom of the base. And then step 3 is to program the thing, which we will probably do next episode. But back to Mr. Raccoon. So anyways, he came by that first day last week sometime, and I posted about it on the Discord server and stuff like that as well. And basically, he came by and he tried to get in because of whatever reason. I think what happened, actually, the start of the story was there was one night about 2 o'clock in the morning or something. We noticed there was a raccoon outside the house. He found the garbage can, and he reached in, pulled things out of the garbage can, and he was just sitting there and eating the stuff from the garbage can. And we're like, okay, what do we do? So we're like trying to make noise and stuff like that, and he basically just ignored us. He just sat there right in front of the door. Then he went and what am I doing here? Let's go ahead and figure this out. We need to make a wheat farm. We need to place down some buckets of water. That would be helpful. We need to place down the buckets of water, and then it goes out 1, 2, 3, 4 from either end of the. That's how far the water is effective for. So we shall set that up, and we shall. I think a design that might work very well, by the way, for programming this fairly easily, is to make a single wide farm, like not 1 block wide, but like 1 farm section wide, which is like the 1 water block, and then 4 blocks on this side and 4 blocks on that side, because that's how far the water has effect. And we'll get back to Mr. Raccoon in a second. But the idea is have a standard wide farm, but then I think have it go along a long distance, and then I think we can automate it fairly easily with a turtle to come and harvest the wheat and things. So that sounds like a good idea. So in any case, back to the point, we need to go ahead and grab a bucket of water. We need to go ahead and get that. And then after we get the bucket of water, then we can discuss, well, actually, while we are getting the bucket of water, we can discuss Mr. Raccoon. So he came by that one day a couple of weeks ago, or 1 week ago or something, and he found the garbage can, and he was sitting right outside the door, munching on the stuff that he got from the garbage can. And he was staring at us inside the door, and he was just sitting there eating his stuff, and we're trying to make noise, scare the guy away, because they're pretty dangerous. They're pretty dangerous animals from what I've heard. I don't know that much about them, but they have apparently very sharp claws and stuff like that. Something like that. Anyways, why am I starting the engines? I don't need to start the engines. I just need to grab a bucket of water. So let's go ahead and grab a bucket of lava, because that is the only type of... Actually, we might have an empty bucket over here. Do we have an empty bucket over here? We have 1. We have 2. That's good. Okay, we should make an infinite water source with this, which will be very excellent indeed. So, anyways, Mr. Raccoon came by, and he was right next to the door and trying to scare him away and stuff like that, because they're pretty dangerous. But he was not afraid. He was not afraid of people whatsoever, which is a time when you have a wild animal. Like a dog is one thing, because a dog is all tame and everything, but when you have a wild animal who's not afraid of people anymore because of, I guess, living in the city or something, like, it's just not the safest thing in the world. And so, yeah, so eventually, like, we'd shine a light at him and he'd move, and then turn the flashlight off, and then he comes right back, plops himself down, and keeps eating, which is not ideal. It is quite a problem. So in any case, he eventually left, and then a couple days later, he showed up at my window upstairs because we had started removing the garbage farther from the house. A lot farther from the house. There's like a garbage bin and stuff to put it in. But in any case, we've started moving that, and so he's like, oh, there's no food and whatever. And so then he started coming by my window for some reason, not entirely sure why, but in any case, he came by a couple times in one night, and he went and damaged the screen and stuff like that, and then he was gone for a couple of weeks, and now he was back today, and we need 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the water block. And let's skip one so that we have a pathway through, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the water block. So right here. That sounds good. Alrighty. That sounds good. So in any case, yeah, so he was gone for a couple of weeks, and then he decided to come back, and for some reason he came back by my window once again. Not entirely sure why he's doing that, but he is. So that's a little bit of a problem. But in any case, if you guys would like to see Mr. Raccoon, here is a video clip, and I don't know if, I don't know how much you can actually see of it. Let's go ahead and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and water. Because the problem is that there was a light shining on the camera from a weird angle, and it was dark outside, and the camera doesn't do too well in low light, and stuff like that, and so it kind of was a bit grainy and stuff, but perhaps you can see something, so we are going to cut right now to the video of Mr. Raccoon. That raccoon guy is back. I'm gonna turn the light to face him, and you'll see him there. And he's gonna run away, of course, because of the light being shined in his face. But yeah. And that is that. So hopefully he doesn't come back again, but we shall see. We shall see. But in any case, let's continue with this here. We've got currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then water. There we go. And I think that's enough for now. I think that's enough of a farm for now. You know, something interesting. We're trying to... I put down extra torches, by the way, so that the grass could spread more, faster. But yeah, we're not going to need grass in this whole area, because this is going to become a wheat farm, so that is going to be good. So, let's go ahead and grab a hoe, ho, ho. Ho, 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 we need a tree farm. Ho, 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 we need a tree farm. Because we do not have any sticks again, and I do not believe we have any wood again. Which means that once again, as we had today, we have 3 potential problems. We are trying to set up a giant automatic wheat farm, and we have 3 potential problems. We have the problem of setting up downstairs, which should, in theory, be fairly simple. Is there an echo in the recording? If there's an echo in the recording, then hopefully there isn't, but yeah, I don't think there is. I think that the speakers are quiet enough. I think the speakers are quiet enough to not be an issue, but hopefully, I don't know. We'll have to take a look at that. I'll have to take a look at that in between episodes and stuff like that, if there is. And by the way, as usual, if you guys happen to notice any errors in the videos or anything, what am I getting? I'm getting, aside from brain freeze errors, that's another matter. But what was I getting? I was getting something. I was getting a hoe. Yes, that's what I was getting. I need a bunch of wood to get this hoe. But yeah, we don't have any wood. We do not have any wood. We do not have any wood. Okay, time to go ahead and chop down a tree to get the wood that we need. Up, breaking the farm. Okay, that is not good. Oh well. But yes, back to the point. Back to the point. The point was that, yes, if you guys happen to ever notice any errors in the video that I kind of missed or whatever, like echo that's not supposed to be there or something, sometimes there's something that, like, it might be something that's intentional but sounds like it's something that's not supposed to be or whatever, and that's good to know too, like, good for me to know as well, because it's good to know if an intentional thing sounds accidental or whatever, but yeah, if there's accidents and stuff, then let me know and I'll try to troubleshoot and stuff like that, and may not get it right for the next episode, but we'll eventually get it right. That's the idea. So, that is a tree been chopped. And we now have 4 oak wood logs. There we go. Let's go ahead and turn those into planks. And let's go ahead and make a ho out of that. We now have a hoe. No, we do not. But we will have a hoe as soon as we get back to the crafting table, because we have loads of crafting tables in the base. So no sense in putting another one down outside the base, especially since this is supposed to be a secret base. And since this is supposed to be a secret base, it would be necessary to clean up all of this stuff that's outside as well and make it blend in better with the surroundings. This is kind of supposed to be a little bit less secret. Oh, you know what? This button, you can see the button if you're coming from this direction. You can see the button over there if you jump and you look properly. But if we cover the area with trees, then you will not be able to see the button until you are right up next to it, which makes it a lot more difficult to find the base. It makes it a lot more difficult to find the base. So that is basically the situation. So what did we get? We just got wood. Oh yes, we got wood. So let's go ahead and head down here. We've got currently a obstacle conquered. We have the so we did the first step, which is delete the thing from the outside of the base, delete the farm from the outside of the base, or rather take down the farm. I guess you could say delete, because it is a computer program that we are playing with, which is called Minecraft, but that is besides the point, because the point is that we have succeeded in taking down the outside farm, and we are working on the inside farm as well. And by the way, I'm making 2 hoes because I think we'll need 2 hoes to get rid of all of this dirt and turn it back into turn it into farmland. I think that will be necessary. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let's just go ahead and map this out and then fill in the rest of the things after. So, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this side goes along the edge all the way along, so that is fine. And this side gets goes 4 out. So let's go ahead and do that with this as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. This is a giant wheat farm on the way, and that is the dimensions of the wheat farm. So now let's go ahead and fill this in. Let's go ahead and fill this in like this. I think it might be better if we go backwards. It might go faster, I think, possibly. Or possibly not, but we shall see. Okay. Let's go ahead and extend this guy down here. Let's go ahead and map out the perimeter of this thing, and then go ahead and fill in the insides after we do the outside edge, which is also known as the perimeter. So there we go. Okay, we can actually do this. Oh, we missed one. We missed one. Missed one. Come on. Oh, the problem is that there's a torch in the way. Okay, let's go ahead and break this here torch and put it up on top. There we go. And that will need to be done to all of these torches. So we are running into another obstacle. We were trying to make a simple wheat farm downstairs, and we are running into some complications with extending this wheat farm down here. And so that is that. The upstairs part went fairly easily, destroying the farm from upstairs, and now we need to place the farm downstairs. And we are trying to do that. We are attempting to do that, and we shall see how long this takes. This may take quite a while, although we already have the outside edge. Was I hearing something? I think that's lava. I think there's lava behind that wall. So don't poke through that wall, because you'll end up drowning the farm in lava, and that's not very helpful. That's not very helpful indeed. If we cover the farm in lava... Oh, we're out of a hoe. I think we will need 4 hoes for this task, possibly. And that torch is in the way. Once again, there we go. Okay, let's go ahead and continue hoeing the grass. Okay, so I think that we will be back once this is done. And there you have it. We have a wheat farm that is ready to be planted. We have a giant area, and it is getting hydrated because of this water. And I just realized that you shouldn't jump over top of the wheat farm, but I just realized that we actually need a little bit more space down here, because we're going to have turtles going back and forth across this thing to harvest it, and they are going to need to bump into a block at the end due to the way that we're going to have this set up, which means that we need to actually have blocks at the end of here, which means that they will not be able to access this last row, which means that we are going to have fun jumping on the dirt and trying to turn it back into regular dirt. So let's go ahead and do that for a moment. And yeah, so here's another thing as well. There are a lot of things that I have in the works coming to the channels, both channels, the PeculiarPineTreePlays channel and the PeculiarPineTree channel, which is the second channel, by the way. For those of you guys who are unfamiliar with it, there's a second channel, and it is the channel where we do a bunch of other things. We do a bunch of how to do like different things for how to do YouTube and gaming and stuff like that on a budget, on an extreme budget. That is basically what we do, and we need to move this one too. So let's go ahead and do that. But in any case, that is what we do on the second channel, and there are a whole bunch of videos on the way. The computer build videos, for those of you guys who are wondering about, you may remember from a while ago, I talked about that, you know, I was building a new computer, stuff like that, and I'm doing a whole bunch of videos on it and stuff like that, and they're gonna go out in the second channel, and they haven't yet gone out on the second channel, but they are still being worked on. And just this week, I've completed, I think it was 3 of them. So 3 more of them were completed this week, which is excellent, and that is not a hoe. That's what the problem is. Okay, let's go ahead and use the actual hoe. Ho, ho, ho. There we go. We got ho, ho, ho. There we go. Now we got that, and oh dear. Okay, don't jump on the farm. Don't jump on the farm. There we go. Now we have a farm that is ready to receive the wheat. So let's go ahead and plant this here wheat. Let's go ahead and plant this here wheat. We got a whole bunch of seeds. I do believe we have extra seeds around the base somewhere, so let's go ahead and do this. But in any case, there are a lot of things planned. A lot of things happening in general for both channels and stuff like that. Like, for example, we have just passed 150 subscribers on the second channel, and we are almost at 150 on the main channel, which is excellent. Thank you to everybody for joining and stuff like that. And glad you're enjoying the videos and stuff like that, and subscribing and things like that. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. And we also need more wheat. Let's see. Okay, we need a lot more wheat to fill this farm. It may take a while to fill this farm, but maybe we can have the automatic farm thing do it for us, possibly. That would be helpful. That would be very helpful. Another change that has happened to the thinking pack thing is in the description. In the description of the videos, you may notice there are now version numbers next to every single mod in the list, which is a new development, because that way you guys can actually use that list to go ahead and find some wheat somewhere. Let's go ahead and find this. But in any case, you guys can use that list if you would like to build a thinking pack for yourself. One of the things that's in the works is I would like to make a public mod pack for you guys to join in on a thinking pack or whatever, like not actually in the game with me at the time, because that would require a server and stuff like that. But you guys could try the thinking pack mod pack yourself and see what you can do with it, stuff like that. But until the time when I actually get around to that thing on the to-do list, which is to make a public mod pack, until that time, you can try to piece a mod pack together from the links and the version numbers in the description of the video. Now, Lupus590 tried that as well. Tried like the list, the new updated list. It was actually in the last video, by the way, the list with the version numbers, and he tried putting a pack together for himself, and he found that it didn't work for some reason. There's something not quite right. Not entirely sure what's going on there. So hopefully if the rest of you guys try it, then it will work for you, but we shall see. And I don't know, not sure why it didn't work. We'll have to track that down and stuff like that. We'll have to try to figure that out, because it has been a number of years since I first created the thinking pack mod pack, and perhaps something is odd about the links or something, or perhaps there's a sequence that you have to put the mods in the pack. I don't know if that's ever a thing, but like if there's a mod that has to be installed first and set up its things and then install another mod or something, possibly that's what happened, because I think we made the thinking pack. I don't remember what happened when I first set up a thinking pack, but it might have been that I put things in like bunches at a time or something. And if that's true, then that would explain why the error. So not entirely sure what's going on, but hopefully if you guys try it, it'll work for you guys. The worst that can happen is it'll just like crash and say that, oh, it can't be loaded because of whatever and broken and stuff. So that's the thing. But that is another thing in development for these channels, is a public mod pack at some point. We shall see exactly what happens. We shall see exactly what happens in the future, but that's one thing on the list. One thing on the list. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and continue this thing over here. And we are just about done this here, and we shall soon be ready to proceed with the automation of this here farm. And so I think let's go ahead and set this up, and I'll tell you guys the basic plan. The basic plan for how to set up this farm, how I'm thinking of setting it up, and we shall see if it works. Because turtles, we are going to use turtles once again. We're going to use turtles, and the thing with the turtles is that they need to be programmed, and the thing with the programming is that it can get very complicated very fast. And so in order to keep it simple, and this is a fully planted farm. It is a fully planted farm. It is a fully planted farm. Okay, let's see. So we are here, and yeah. So we basically, the idea is I'm gonna have a bunch of turtles. So this could all be harvested by one turtle, and actually there was a program, the program that that I was telling you guys about in previous episodes that I made years ago to farm this thing. It does not work between world loads, which is a problem. But basically the turtle will go along this way and then go along this way back and stuff like that and zigzag, and the trouble is that if he gets lost, then where is he and stuff like that. But let's just keep it simple, I think, because we have done a lot of complicated programs. So let's try to keep it simple. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to have them here, the turtles probably about here, and they're going to sit above the wheat. They're going to stand here and wait. And when the wheat grows, it will grow up, and the turtle will detect, and it'll be like, oh, it's fully grown wheat now. So then the turtle will go along and harvest, and there will be a row of them, because it does not require any... oh, you know what, actually? I think you might need a mining turtle to harvest that way. Okay, Plan B, because we do not have a mining turtle, because that requires a whole lot of diamonds for making the pickaxes and things for the turtles, and we do not have that. So we shall check if the turtles can harvest without any tools, but all the tools require diamonds. So that would not be helpful. But what we could do is have two sections of turtle. We could have the turtles that harvest and the turtles that, what's the word? Plant. Yes, they plant and then they harvest. So the harvesting turtles are the ones that break the wheat, and the situation would probably be that they would just simply place down water, because if you put down a water bucket, then it will spread water all over the place, and it will basically drain the farm of wheat. It will break all of the wheat, and it will send it into something that we're going to put probably here, which would be to collect all of the wheat in hoppers or something. Not entirely sure exactly what, but that is beside the point, because the point is that the harvesting turtle could, if it does not just go ahead and harvest just like that, it could, in fact, place down water and flood the farm whenever it thinks that the wheat is probably grown. And so it will flood the farm and drain all the wheat off, and then it will be a blank farm, and then the planting turtles will come by from over here, probably, or something, and they will come along and they will find every block that is just plain dirt, and or that does not have wheat on it. And they will come along, a whole row of them at once, because that is very simple. All they need to do is have, like, each individual turtle just simply go forward, check, is there wheat? No, there isn't. Okay, plant, and move on, and stuff like that. And it should go all the way to the end, where it then runs into a block that will be up in the air. Like that. So the turtle will run, bump into the block, and it'll be like, oh, okay, guess it's time to stop. So then it goes straight backwards. So we don't have to worry about any turning or anything like that. It just goes straight backwards and runs into the back wall. And then it's like, okay, I'm back now. And so it'll stay there. That is the idea. That is the idea. Now, will it work that simply? Probably not. Probably not, but we shall find out next episode, I think, unless there's a slight change of plans or something, but we shall probably find out next episode. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and stuff like that, and next episode we are going to be continuing trying to automate this wheat farm so that we can get a massive wheat production thing going on, and when the massive wheat production thing is going on, then we are going to use that wheat to expand our massive sheep farm, or rather expand our mini sheep farm into a massive sheep farm, and it is going to become a massive sheep farm split into all 16 colors. And by the way, I finished putting these guys in between episodes, and so now the black and white sheep are in this pen. I think we're going to split them by every 2 colors of sheep, probably. So we have black and white in here, we have 2 colors of gray in here, and then we're going to have like maybe red and yellow or something, or red and pink, and then we're going to have like a bunch of things and stuff like that going along, and fill in the entire area. That is the idea, indeed. And so expand and automate our massive wheat farm to make our massive sheep farm, to get a whole bunch of red wool to fill the rocket room with red wool along all the walls. And then once that is done, then we can proceed with the, well, I mean, once we have the important stuff done, like coloring the walls, then we can do the, like, non-essentials, like actually fueling the rocket and things like that, because that stuff's not important, obviously. Like, obviously the most important thing to do is to color the walls, because that kind of, like, has nothing to do with it whatsoever. But that's besides the point. The point is that we are going to be going ahead and continuing with that next episode. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and stuff like that, and if you guys have any questions or comments or suggestions or anything, then let me know on whatever you happen to have a comment on and stuff like that. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like on the video and stuff like that, and see you guys later. Bye bye.